and stealing, running and fighting for freedom, crying and hiding and stealing, running and fighting for freedom, crying and hiding and stealing, running and fighting for freedom, crying and hiding and stealing, running and fighting for freedom.
Hello everyone, I'll be doing a deck list of my Triamid deck for casual fun. There we go. For starters, I have 3 Triamid Hunters. Triamid Hunter basically gives you an additional normal summon if you have a field spell, or if your opponent has a field spell up on the field, which is pretty good standard for Triamid cards. They also have a second effect by swapping your own Triamid field spell. And then replacing with one that's a different name from your deck. So this is the standard effect of all other Triamid normal monsters, but this is the bread and butter of the deck, so we need to utilize that in order to take advantage. The next card I have is Triamid Dancer. Triamid Dancer, besides its field swapping effect, during your turn you can recycle a Triamid card from your graveyard to your deck, and then you give all your rock monsters 500 attack and defense. To me, this is like an also important effect because, again, that stat boost really helps out with pushing over your opponent's monsters. Next card I have is Triamid Triamid Master, my bad. His effect's not as good compared to Dancer and Hunter because all he does is remove one of your Triamid cards on the field, whether it's the field spell, the trap, or the monster, in order to destroy a set card your opponent controls or if you control. But you don't really want to use that unless your opponent has a lot of back row. So if you feel like it, you can just normal summon Triamid Master, then target himself, remove him from the field to destroy one of your opponent's back row. But that's basically it for the Triamid monsters. I played 3 copies of each because I believe that they're all important and you should have like at least 2 of them in your hand in the opening turn, so you can have you're able to rotate the field spells if you draw into them. Next I have 3 Triamid Sphinx, the boss monster of the deck. He is basically a beat stick that can't be normal summoned by tributing. He can only be special summoned by either the battle destruction of a Triamid monster, the card destruction of any Triamid field spell, trap, or monster, or by the effect of one of the field spells I'll get to later. His normal attack is 2500, but for every field spell he gains 300. I mean, sorry, not 300, 500. There are 3 different names for the field spell, so in total that can be 4000 both ways, attack and defense. But if you use Triamid Dancer to keep recycling, say, your Triamid monsters back to your deck, you gain an extra 500. So in the usual combo, he would end up having 3500 depending on your opening hand. Once I get to that later on. So he's really good in general, and an additional effect he has is that he's the only monster your opponent can target for attacks while it's up in the field. If there's 2 Triamid Sphinx for some reason, then you can choose which Sphinx to target as well, which is an interesting note in case when your opponent uses like a trap card to modify the attack points, so you can redirect that to an opponent, to one of your stronger Sphinx in case. Sorry, just give me one moment. Next I play 3 Sentry Soldier of Stone. This is basically like a free special summon of a level 3 monster from your graveyard, as long as you have a rock monster on the field. So he's basically there for easy rank 3s. We also have one of the best rank 3s in the extra deck in case. But the reason why I run 3 is that you want to see this guy hit the graveyard as soon as possible. We have several methods to get him to the graveyard, so having multiple copies increase that chance and giving us better consistency for rank plays. He's also a 2000 wall, which is also very nice. Next we play 3 copies of Doki Doki. Some of you are like, what the hell is this card? So he basically is a free special summon by discarding a monster of the same level for a rock monster. So for example, if I have, say, Sentry Soldier of Stone, you have it on your hand, you can discard it to summon, say, a Triamid Hunter, and then you gain the Triamid Hunter's extra normal summon if you have Field Spell up. So he's basically there to help set up your graveyard, as well as giving you free special summons. He's an essential part of the deck as well. Next we have one Musician Grand Mole. Even though he's limited to 1, he's still really helpful in general. And he's also level 3 Rock Monster, which he's also able to be used for rank 3. But he's a great out to like many situations. He's very helpful, even though you don't draw him off too often. Next we play one Block Dragon. He's a free special summon by banishing 3, I believe it's Earth Monsters? Yeah, Earth Monsters from your hand or graveyard. Though you usually don't want to banish your Rock Monsters unless it's an emergency. But when he gets destroyed, which he can only be destroyed by card effect, by battle, because when he's on the field, no Rock Monsters can be destroyed by card effects, which is really great in general. So when he's destroyed, you can add up to, I believe it's Rock Monsters, yeah, up to 3 Rock Monsters. That's the total level is equal to 8. So one of your possible draws can be 1 Doki Doki and 2 level 3 Rock Monsters such as Triamid Dancer and Hunter, or 2 Triamid Masters. So you have a few options if he ever gets destroyed. He's there for recovery and for setting up a wall in case your opponent somehow wipes your field. One Block Golem. He's also like a really helpful card because if you have 2 Rock Monsters in your graveyard, and the only thing you have are Rock Monsters in your graveyard, you can tribute this guy to special summon 2 of the Rock Monsters, and then you can use it for ranks, or if it's their Triamid cards, even though their effects are negated during the turn of special summon, their effects can recover during your opponent's turn, and you can use the Triamid monsters to swap your field spells. So he's good for like emergencies as well, just as much as Block Dragon. But you only want 1 copy. You don't want to see him early. You want to see him towards the mid or late game. For the magic cards, you use 3 Triamid Cruisers. Triamid Cruiser is basically like a Dark World dealing for you every time you normal summon a Triamid monster. So you draw 1, discard 1. You usually want to discard either Block Dragon or, what do you call it, Sentry Soldier of Stone. But also, you also get 500 life points every time you normal summon a Rock Monster, but that's not significant. This card is very crucial to have opening though, because if it's sent from the field to a grave, you can search a Triamid monster from your deck to the hand, which is really good for versatility, because you want to search your boss monster as soon as possible. Next we play 3 Triamid King Golem. This basically gives all your Rock Monsters 500 attack points, which is really nice. But the best part is that when Triamid monsters battle, your opponent cannot respond to the battle with any card activations. So this card gets over Crystalline Dragon, Utopia Lightning, Back Rows, like Mirror Force, and so on. It's just really helpful, and you want to have this card up on the field just to push for game. Also, when it's destroyed or sent from the field to the grave, you special summon a Triamid monster from your hand. So this is your primary way of summoning Triamid Sphinx from your hand, and then having that really good 3,000 to 4,000 beat stick on the field. Next we play 3 Triamid Fortress. This basically protects your monsters, especially your Triamid monsters, from card destructions. It also gives Rock Monsters 500 defense, which isn't particularly nice, but it's just there in case your opponent uses, say, a Regeki on you, or any monsters with card destruction effects that targets your Triamid monsters. And also, its graveyard effect is that you recover a Triamid monster from your graveyard and put it back to your hand. So it's not completely necessary to have it on the field unless for emergencies, but having 3 copies is still very nice in general. You also want to have 1 copy in the grave to boost your Sphinx up by an extra 500. So I prefer 3 in general, but you can always like shrink it down to 2 copies if you like. Next we have a necessary 3 Terraforming. You just want to have those field spells as much as possible in your hand. Though for some reason I end up never drawing into these in locals. I don't know, possible bad luck. 1 Foolish Barrel to send your Block Golem or your Sentry Soldier Stones to grave. This is necessary. For me, One of my tech cards is that I have 3 copies of Galaxy Cyclone. I only have 1 copy so far because I'm poor. But you'll want to have 3 copies of Galaxy Cyclone to destroy your back row for your opponent. But also its graveyard effect is that, say you have no way of destroying a Triamid field spell on your field, but you also have a Sphinx on your hand, you can use the graveyard effect to pull up your own field spell in order to special summon your Sphinx. So it's a nice little idea to have just in case. But you can also use it for just simply clearing out the field of your opponent's, say, pendulum cards or just the back row in general. I think it's very useful. Here's an interesting tech card I use though. It's called Needle Ceiling. It's a pretty old card, but like basically is that when there's 4 more monsters on the field, it doesn't have to be face up or face down or anything, but you can activate it, especially on your opponent's turn. You can destroy all the face up monsters on the field, both yours and your opponent's monsters. However, like people are going to question like, why do I put this in? But the thing is, if I have a Triamid monster on the field, I can chain Needle Ceiling with a Triamid monster's effect to swap the field spell from either Cruiser or King Golem to a Triamid Fortress. That way I can protect my monsters while my opponent monsters would be blown up by the card effect. So it's up to you if you want to put this in, but I think it's really good in general. And I've seen a lot of people rage quit whenever I activate this card, and I see the entire board just gets wiped out before they make their plays. So it's preferably up to you, but I think it's a really good card in general. Next I play 1 Triamid Pulse. It's an interesting card. I personally don't like it, but it's nice to have just in case. You basically banish either 2 rock monsters or 2 field spells, any combination of the both. And then you gain one of these 3 effects. You can destroy 1 face-up card on the field, or you can special summon a Triamid monster from your graveyard in defense mode, or you can recycle 3 field spells and then draw 1 card. It's pretty situational, especially the last effect, but I always have 1 copy just in case something happens. Say like my Sphinx gets blown up, or there's just this really annoying monster on the field I need to get rid of. Banishing 2 field spells or 2 rock monsters is pretty costly for this deck because you don't want to banish stuff. And that'll be it for the main deck. Now for my side deck, my extra deck, I have 1 number 81 rail cannon. Usually I end up having 2 Sphinxes on the field and they're both level 10s, so it can be useful to have this card just in case. For say your opponent has a skill drain up and they have something stronger than 2500, you can always go into this guy and then put him on defense mode or something, and then you'll have a really good wall. Next I have Super Dreadnought, Rail Cannon, Mustang Max, Gustav Max I think. He's also there if you have 2 Sphinx and you want to blow up your opponent for 2k damage. It's pretty good for finishing games. But the main card I have in the extra deck is 3 Organic Guardians. I think it's necessary to have this card, even though for me, I don't like going to this card like unless it's my opening turn, I have nothing else, or if there's just an annoying monster I need to destroy. Basically, this card is like a breakthrough skill on spell speed 2, and then during your turn, it also reduces their attack points to 0. But this card has a second effect where you can destroy a monster with 0 attack points on the field. So it's really good. I think it's one of the best XC monsters that's ranked 3 in general. So it's really good to have just to blow up your opponent's stuff, or like negate them and then just battle through them. I think it's just really good in general. And that's it for my deck. It's pretty casual. I got all this for like under $10. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions to make or comments, please leave them down below. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video as well.